أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Dear viewers everywhere, I greet you with the greeting of peace, with the best greeting ever known to humanity. The greeting that the Prophet ﷺ, Prophet Muhammad, taught us to use. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace be unto all of you. And let's together reflect upon one of the verses. That before that, I'd like to remind you that all the verses that you heard in Arabic from those reciters who have wonderful recitation, all of them focus on one theme, which is, don't you reflect upon the verses of the Quran, or do they have locked hearts? In other words, if you don't reflect and read with understanding, read with appreciation, read with analysis, and explore deeper and deeper and ask questions and make comparison and make analysis. If you don't do this within your recitation, you don't get the benefit and your heart becomes locked. And here's a reminder that in order to unlock these hearts, the only way to do this is to go back to the Quran, read it, recite it, reflect upon the verses. This is the whole purpose of this program, is to invite you and motivate you to focus on what you're reading and what you're reciting, and not just recite it like a parrot and read it without understanding. Because when you understand, it will change you, it will make you a positive person, a better human being that will benefit this world. Today we have one verse. It's verse number or ayah number 34 and chapter number 41, chapter called Fussilat. Let's see it on the screen and then I will read it for you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. The meaning can be translated into this language, into English. The good deed and the evil deed cannot be equal. Repel the evil with one which is better. I.e., for example, Allah ordered the faithful believers to be patient at the time of anger, for example, and to excuse those who treat them badly. Then, verily, he between whom and you there was enmity will become as though he was a close friend. Let me try to put it in a more simple language, which is the good deed and the evil deed are never equal. Of course, there is big gap, huge gap between them, because one of them is positive, one of them is negative. So they are not equal. And then we continue that here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks people, encourages people to always do the good deed. Always do the best deed. Whenever, even if you have two options, you select the best of these two options and use it. Because this will have great impact and effect on the people whom you're dealing with. Even if a person is an enemy to you, there is an enmity between you and him. There is hatred between you and him. But if you adopt this strategy of using the good deed and doing something positive and good, you will find him changing from an enemy to you into becoming a very close friend to you. As you can see by yourself how positive this text is. And in reality, it answers and it responds to all these questions that are raised by some people who try to label Islam that it is a religion of violence. It's not a religion of peace. Although, yes, and this is one example of hundreds, if not thousands of examples in the Quran. But it is, of course, the nature of people who are biased, who don't want to reveal the truth. And here we are here. One of our jobs here is to show Islam in reality, to show the truth of Islam to everybody. And this is one of the texts. We didn't make this text. It's there 1400 years ago or more. It's there. And many others. I can quote you many other verses right now which are similar to this. But let's go back to the text and try to reflect upon it. And here, I'd like to end up, before I begin, to end up with the most important reflection here is that you yourself, are you doing this or not? Are you adopting this policy and this strategy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded you to do or not? If not, you are misrepresenting this great religion of Islam. You need to go back and review yourself and say that I'm going to adopt this policy, I'm going to activate it, I'm going to do it in my life, it will become a norm in my life, it will become my default, because every Muslim needs to adopt this. Not just few Muslims or the majority, but this is a command for all Muslims. To give a good impression about this great religion, you have to act it. You have to translate it into group of actions, and in this way people will see Islam in action. Let's go back. So the first thing is that it says, the first part of this ayah, it says that وَلَا تَسْتَوِي الْحَسَنَةُ وَلَا السَّيِّئَةُ. It establishes a fact here that the good deed and the bad deed are not equal. In other words, there is no excuse for somebody to behave badly and he would expect positive results. What type of thinking is that? So Islam establishes this fact. They are not equal. There's huge gap between them. And this is an invitation for everybody to be positive, to do something good, And we have tens and hundreds and thousands of examples. To the degree that the Prophet ﷺ said that even before you die, if you are about to die, and you can plant a tree, please do this before you die. Even if all the human beings are going to die, like in the case of the Day of Judgment, everybody is going to die. If you can do this, do this. Be positive, because you're doing something positive. Something is good that's needed by all human beings. This is the essence of Islam. This is the essence of Islam. How can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be the all-wise and would ask people to do something bad? This is a direct response to those people who keep or insist or trying to claim and to defame this wonderful great religion, which is not just the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It has been the religion of Jesus and Moses and David until Adam. It's one religion only. It's the religion of submitting ourselves to the will of Allah. Here is one statement of Almighty Allah who wants to make this world a better place to live in. The second, therefore, if you know that there is a huge gap and this is better than this, so the second step is try to adopt this and all the time use and practice and exercise the good deeds and do them in your life. And here is in Arabic language, التي هي أحسن is the one that's better than others. It's not just good and bad, no. Even among the good things, their level of goodness, because this may be better than this. So if you find that this is better than this, so adopt this policy. Then after some time, if you find this way is better than this one, so you are supposed Islamically, according to this verse, that you adopt this because it's better than this and better than this. Then after some time you discover there is another way, another approach that's better than all these, so use this. So whenever something rises that's better than others, and this will continue forever because human beings discover and find many techniques and many strategies that are better than others, adopt them. It is your responsibility as a Muslim to adopt them. And what is the impact of this? What's the effect of this? Here you go. Doing this and adopting this and using them in treating with people, with the non-Muslims, before the Muslims, you treat all people equally in this. Use the best way that you can. With the non-Muslim, with the atheist, with anyone else, you use the best way. And in this way you will see the effect. You change the enmity and the hatred in the heart of your enemy into something good, to the degree that your enemy may become, or will become, according to the ayah, will become a close friend. What a policy. I want the United Nations to record this in its charter, to record it on the posters and everywhere, to tell people this is what Islam does. Not just the United Nations. I want every organization in the world to say that this is the book of Quran that invites people to be positive and to do something good continuously. How beautiful this verse sounds. You may say that you're biased to this. I would leave you to judge it by yourself. I would leave the judgment for you. But here is the text. Try to analyze it and try to judge it. Brothers and sisters, Muslims in particular, as I began in this episode, I'm inviting you, if you are doing this, make it consistent. Make it a pattern in your life. Make it your default. So every time, whenever you are confronted or you are confronting a situation that's negative, try to use the positive approach in order to change the situation. Try to be positive, try to be helpful, try to be nice, try to represent Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Try to tell people that I am the embodiment of this Quran. I represent this religion. I represent this verse. I represent this Quran, and here I am. And in this way, I think we can remove and erase the hatred and the animosity that's going on between Muslims and non-Muslims. I hope we Muslims adopt this and apply it on daily life regularly and consistently. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us support to do this. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is your presenter, Mamdouh Mohamed.
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها
أفلا يتدبرون